Yo, this is Chris Spencer, and you're on BKS1 Radio.
It's your girl Chanel, BKS1 Radio, and I'm here with the beautiful Garcelle Bouvet.
I'm paying you later.
Hey, I'm the queen of comedy some more, and right now you're rocking with BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio Network. I'm here with the amazing Miss Tasha Smith. How you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for coming out.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Hello, Denise Boutte. Hey, what's up? Shout out to BKS1 Radio. See you soon.
Brick City's finest, J.D. Williams. I'm in the Savage Podcast Studio, chilling at BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio. I'm here with the legendary Mr. Dick Gregory. How you doing today, sir?
Fantastic, brother, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Jamie Foxx, BKS1 Radio. What's going on with you?
Storming on. This is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton for BKS1 Radio. They be doing the dog, y'all.
Yo, this is Chris Spencer, and you're on
Welcome to WBKS1Radio.com. You are now in the game. You want to go get it? Yep. All right. All right, we're still setting up here, folks. It's 9 o'clock Tuesday night. We are live. This is live radio, baby. This is how we do it. How about them Cowboys? We got V coming in. To my right. Oh, snap. I'm by myself. Oh, sookie now. Watch out now. I might go crazy out this mug by myself. Oh, okay. Here's my team. What's up? To my right, she is. Uh-oh. Mike ain't on. Hold on. Let's start this over. To my right, she is.
Coach V.
To my left, he is.
Short Fuse, aka the Ghost.
All right. We are live here to talk and debate sports with you. I think, Ghost, what do I have to say, V, about sports?
The sports guys will always
provide. Sports guys will always provide. And this week is no different. I think the obvious starting point is Rutgers football. 1-0, baby. 1-0. Undefeated.
Yeah.
Check us out. Undefeated, baby.
Who did y'all play?
Doesn't matter. 1-0, baby. We are better than Michigan. We are better than Florida State.
Yeah.
Right now, we are better than a lot of other squads out there. Yeah. And that's right. Hey, listen.
You're right.
Right now is the time for unbridled passion. We could go undefeated, Ghost. We could really, it could happen. You never know. It's not likely, but, I mean, don't. Stranger things have happened. See?
Who did y'all
Coach V got her Rutgers. Listen, we played a Division I opponent. That's all that matters, man.
I need to know what team.
We don't ask questions like that.
I mean, I'll look it up.
Okay? We don't ask those questions, man. Rutgers took home a 24-7 or no, 35-7 victory over. Listen, this school's a powerhouse, man. We played a powerhouse in Texas State. We're better than Tennessee. We got to win, baby. Better than Appalachian State. Better than Washington.
Oh, yeah, they were. And they were supposedly the savior of the Pac-12. They were supposed to be like the Pac-12 representative for it.
I love it. We're going to come back to college football. I was just kidding. The obvious starting point is where nobody really wants to start. But that's where we're going to start because I love what just happened.
What just happened?
I've always been a supporter of this brand, Ghost.
Oh, Nike. Ha-ha.
Always been a supporter of Nike. Just recently, I've been a Nike guy for most of my life. Nike sneakers, Nike apparel, Nike hats. I'm just a Nike dude. I don't know. Maybe I bought in Be Like Mike, all that other stuff. The Nike campaign with Charles Barkley, all that other stuff. I've always been a supporter of the Nike brand, but now I'm happy. I'm pretty happy to say it for what Nike did today or most recently.
Well,
Nike, hold on, let me set it up.
I know you would say that, but
Nike they put out an ad campaign and aligned themselves with Colin Kaepernick. And you can see on the screen it says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Now, I'm going to start with you, Coach V, because you are chomping at the bit.
Yes.
How do you feel about Nike aligning itself with Colin Kaepernick, and how do you feel about the ad campaign overall?
Well, I haven't.
This is the 30th anniversary of the Just Do It campaign. That's what it really is.
I haven't seen the actual campaign, but I heard about it this morning, just probably like everybody. And it reminded me of You know that song by the Beatles? I don't know if they were the ones who actually the first ones to sing it or they covered it by somebody. But it says, "Say you want a revolution." Well,
Something like that. Yeah, I know the song.
Yeah, and that was a Nike commercial.
Okay.
So I'm just like, hey, they're just doing what they've always done, in my opinion.
And that's a good point, because if you recall years and years ago when Charles Barkley came out with his I Am Not a Role Model campaign, that was somewhat controversial. People say, wait a minute, athletes aren't role models. Well, now it's ironic that people are having problems with this Nike campaign when 30 years ago they wanted athletes to be role models, right, Ghost?
Right.
They fought against Charles Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
They want you to be a role model when you're being a role model for what they want you to be a role model for.
Exactly. When it's convenient.
Aha! When it's what they want you to be a role model for.
When you're not being a role model and fighting for a change that's threatening their privilege.
There you go.
Now,
but you're not even threatening their privilege, threatening their kids' privilege. Because the privilege for them ain't going to change. They're fighting for down the line.
See, here's the thing, Ghost. And I've heard people out there burning Nike sneakers.
I love it.
Burning Nike apparel.
After you done paid for it.
First of all, if you're burning your own stuff, you're a dumbass.
Very much so.
You're a straight dumbass, because Nike already got their money off you, dummy.
Then they said, oh, we're not going to buy no Nike. Nike going to be fine.
Nike's going to be all right.
They're going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
And you best believe that Nike did enough research to say, hey, listen.
But wrap your brains around this. I mean, wrap your brains around it. And I like for people who try to argue the point that they're not racist and it's not a color issue.
Okay.
You are boycotting a company and you're mad at a man who's taking a stand against inequality and injustice.
Against police brutality. And see, that's the question.
But you're mad at that. But you say, oh, no, I'm not racist. No, you are.
See, here's my thing. And I asked this to a couple of my buddies I talk to through text every day. Who in this country supports police brutality against anyone?
The people who are fighting against Colin.
Who supports social injustice?
The people who are fighting against Colin.
It would seem as though that would be the case.
Yeah, because they're fighting against social injustice when the injustice is not happening to them.
Or when it infringes, like you said, on their privilege.
But see, here's my thing. If you're fighting against Colin Kaepernick and the Nike campaign, and you're not down with Kaepernick because, first of all, understand what you're talking about. Don't give me that flag BS, right?
Because you let the people who hate him change the narrative and you ran with it.
Don't give me that. I don't want to hear that. So if you talk about some flag nonsense, back up off me, go away. Because that's not what this is about. And I was listening to the Will Kane show today. And he had a veteran call in, of which you are a veteran. Now, does Colin Kaepernick's kneeling offend you as a veteran who served the country proud?
Not offended.
Okay, so there's one. And this gentleman who called in said he served 2 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan. He was a 49er fan. He watched the Super Bowl that the 49ers were in against the Ravens in Afghanistan. And he said, listen, this is why I put on that uniform, to go over there so that people have the freedom to do what Kaepernick wants to do. He said, I take no offense to what Colin Kaepernick is doing. He said, nor do most of my veteran friends. He's like, now, there are some people that might take offense to it, but I'm not one of them. So not every veteran is all the same. So stop trying to paint people with the broad brush.
What
and then he said,
what did Will say? What did Will say?
Then he said, the veteran said, and most of the people that are out there talking about how offended they are never raised their hand and took an oath and put on a uniform to go serve this country.
Who? Hello. Preach.
So all these people out here talking about they offended, they never served.
Not one bit.
Now here's what Will Kane, who I can't stand. I call him a poor man's Colin Cowherd. That's all I think.
Oh, wow.
That's just me. I don't like his opinions. He said, and you'll see with the screen, we'll go to the screen.
Let's go.
It says, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything.
Aha.
Now, his problem was with sacrificing everything. Okay?
Oh, please let me get it. Please.
Everything, if you will.
I even saw somebody use a meme with Tillman.
Emmett Till?
Patrick
No,
Tillman.
Pat Tillman.
Pat Tillman.
And saying this is sacrificing everything. It seems like you're taking the words literal. Everything.
Exactly.
But
What it
see-
means. Everything can mean a lot of different things.
It can mean a lot of
second of
different
all,
things.
stop using Patrick Tillman as a political argument with his family and his wife. said that they didn't want you to use his legacy as a political statement.
And by the way, Pat Tillman was killed by friendly
Friendly
fire.
fire.
And they covered it up for years.
And they covered it up. The United States government lied to the American people about the death of Pat Tillman, and he was killed by friendly fire by another United States military.
But when
now he did die in line of action. We're not taking that away from him. It was an unfortunate accident, but he was killed by friendly fire.
But you're talking about respecting the troops and the veterans. That's the ultimate disrespect to basically lie to the family about how
lied to his family about how he died.
Exactly. But it's just so interesting when they talk about sacrifice everything, because again, this is where, and we've talked about this before on the show, this is where perspective comes in, because like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So when we say sacrifice everything, like for you, sacrificing could be, let's just say, I know you're a lawyer, giving up your law practice because you have worked, because you worked so hard to get there. You put in time, money, everything that you went through. So if you for all of a sudden could not be a lawyer,
sweat, and tears.
Yeah, if you could not be a lawyer anymore, for you, that's everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then for somebody else, everything could be, let's just say you happen to be, you owned a business, that you had brought up as your baby, and all of a sudden, due to the crash, when they lost everything, like those people at Enron, when they lost everything. So, well, they didn't really sacrifice. I take that back. But let's just say your business was, for whatever reason, you lost it for something.
Sacrificing everything is relative.
Yeah, it's
relative. The ultimate sacrifice of everything, yes, is giving up your life for the cause.
And I thought
that is the ultimate part, but there is many levels to sacrificing everything.
Right. I thought he took a word that,
of course,
out of context, and I believe he's smart enough. Will Kane's a lawyer. He's smart enough to know what he was doing, and he just did it for the sake of making a radio show.
Just like every person who's saying he's disrespecting the flags and the troops, they're all smart enough to know that's not what he meant.
Absolutely.
Especially,
they're using it to change and shape the narrative, and that's exactly what he's doing. He wants to take away from what it actually means and switch it back to the troops, so you have more of this fanatical, radical fan base to go against it.
But when we all know why Kaepernick, why he took the knee. But when he talk about you're disrespecting the flag, I mean, we have all gone to sporting events, and we see what people do during the anthem. They sitting, they talking, guys
they sell
not
beer and food. Yeah,
guys not taking off their hats. People on their cell phones posting like, "Hey, do it for the gram," all that stuff. I mean, come on, like, stop.
So it's a bunch of hypocrites out there. I support Nike. There were other parts to that campaign. It says you don't have to change who you are to change the world. Lacey Baker.
Yes.
And there was Shaquem Griffin, who was part of the Just Do It. Who would ever think a kid like me would go pro? Me.
Mm-hmm.
Who, I love Shaquem Griffin.
Yeah.
Because he's the player that plays for Seattle. Oh, and there's
Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham Jr. Don't wait until you've won a ring to play like it.
And then you got Serena.
And obviously the greatest, one of the greatest athletes of all times, across the board. We're not going to qualify based on gender because she's one of the greatest athletes of all time. Girls from Compton don't play tennis; they own it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Serena Williams doing her thing in the U.S. Open.
I love just about every Serena endorsement I have loved. You see the one with Chase, Mama said knock you out? That one where she walks out, she says, don't call it a comeback. She's just like reciting like the first two bars from Mama said knock you out. And then, and it says Chase supporting all the mamas out there. I mean, I just really like what she does and who she represents.
I love what Serena's doing. I love who she is. I love her talent. Watching her play is a joy. And she is one of the greatest athletes of all time. To be doing what she's doing at her age in a sport that generally retires players on the earlier side of their career. How old is Serena? 36?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, most tennis players are done by then. Now, we'll get back to some U.S. Open coverage because there was a ton of upsets last night. I won't say a ton, but quite a few upsets. But we'll get back to that. Let's stay on a little bit of NFL football because we were off last week and a lot of things took place. Let's start with Sam Darnold being named the starter of the New York Football Jets. Obviously, they play in New Jersey, so I'm just going to call them New Jersey Jets. The Jets named Sam Darnold as the starter. How do you feel about Sam Darnold being the starter?
I'm all for it. I think all rookies should start right away. If you draft them that high, put them in there, let them.
Fair enough, Coach V. Your thoughts on Sam Darnold start on the Jets throwing Sam Darnold to the Wolves. The NFL starts on Thursday. Sam Darnold's the youngest quarterback to ever start in NFL history. Your thoughts, Coach V?
I mean, I can, take about what most of the other pundits are saying. He's only had a season and a half at USC. They say most quarterbacks have college quarterbacks to come out usually have had at least 3 seasons worth of experience. 3 years of starting, and he only had like 1.5 years. So, I mean, hey, if he can do it, why wait? But yeah,
and he is going to be in prime time, Ghost. The Jets have the Detroit Lions on Monday night. They're the first Monday night game of the 2018 football offering. Then followed by Los Angeles and Oakland on the West Coast playing the late game on the opening Monday night. So he is in prime time. Talk about throwing him to the Wolves. I mean, this is as big as he's going to get outside of a Super Bowl if they make the playoffs. I mean,
it don't matter what day it is. He's playing in New York.
What do you
every week and every Sunday is going to be prime time in New York. True, he's going to be on. He's going to have so much media attention. The back pages of the Post or the Daily News. So I don't even think it matters. The first game is Monday night because he's playing in New York. It's a whole different ball game.
By the way, how do you think the New Jersey Giants feel about that? Because, it's a competition here in the tri-state area with the New York Jets and the New York Giants. Who gets the back page for whatever reason? They want to be positive, but it seems like the Jets are stealing the thunder with throwing Sam Darnold out there and saying, hey, look, I mean, I know the Jets took him number 2?
Yes.
And and Barkley went, 3?
Baker went
4.
first.
Baker went first.
Baker, Barkley, Darno.
Yeah, Barkley.
Barkley went second.
He went second because the Giants picked
That's
second.
right. Giants had the second pick.
Because then Cleveland came around number 4 again.
That's right. My apologies. So how do you feel about that? How do you think the Giants feel, Ghost? You think they care?
I don't think they care.
You don't think they care?
What other? There's no other storylines in New York football right now.
All that money they paid Odell Beckham Jr.
They talked about that 2 weeks. They talked about that weeks before though. So that's not like. Yeah, they can't keep talking about that every week. So they already talked about that. So now the big topic is going to be Darnold starting.
All right, now since Coach V brought it up before we hit the first break, we got a few minutes.
Let's talk about contracts.
Let's talk about the money. Because I love talking about the money.
Me too.
I am a big supporter of all players getting as much money as they can. Nobody comes to see the owners play. You only come to see the players play, so why shouldn't the players get as much cash as possible? Odell Beckham goes, what do we have? Let me see. What's the deal? He gets $1 million guaranteed, right? So basically, he got a 3-year extension for $60 million, right?
Right.
They're gonna couch it as what was it? 100 and some odd million.
No, 95 million.
95 million. But
over
really,
5 years, I believe.
Yeah, for 5 years and 95 million. But really, it was 65 million in guaranteed money, and it's basically a 3-year deal. That's what it comes down to. Because all you can count on is that guaranteed money. Did the Giants overpay, Ghost?
No.
Okay.
His numbers prove he should get it.
Let me ask you this. Tell me the last time a Super Bowl team had a big name, high-priced receiver of the likes of Odell Beckham on it when they won the Super Bowl.
When they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of the Philadelphia Eagles. Who was their number one receiver?
Alshon Jeffries.
Is he a big name?
He's big enough.
Is he paid like Odell Beckham?
No.
I mean, you could go back to
Patriots don't pay anybody, so we know it's not them.
But the Patriots never had a wide receiver who put up those numbers either.
True that.
And the one year they did have Randy Moss, they didn't win. Unfortunately.
You had the Falcons with Julio Jones, who didn't win. The Broncos didn't have a big name receiver when they won. Emmanuel's former guest of In the Game, Emmanuel Sanders, was their lead receiver. The Patriots again. The Seahawks, who do they have? Doug Baldwin. So they didn't really have
their receivers anyway.
Right, they never had a big name receiver. The Ravens haven't had a big name receiver. Who was their big receiver? We don't even know. Giants had what when they won?
Yeah.
The Packers had what? Who was their big name receiver? Jordy Nelson, maybe? But my point, I say all that to say, do you need a big name or a high-paid receiver to win a Super Bowl?
You don't need high-paid anybody to win a Super Bowl. Baltimore won with Trent Dilfer at quarterback. You win with if you get lucky enough, then make the right plays.
So then my question to you is Odell Beckham worth the money?
Yep.
Is he going to help them reach the Super Bowl promised land?
Yes, he can.
But we have scant little evidence that high-priced receivers help you reach.
I don't. He deserved the money because his numbers deserve it.
No. Don't get me wrong.
So then I can't say he's not worth the money.
I prefaced it in saying I want all players to get every cent.
Then I can't say he's not worth it then.
What I'm asking you is, as a team, Coach V, because you're of the team, you love that Patriots model. You love the Spurs model.
Yep.
Did they overpay for a guy at a position that really, when you look at the last 10 Super Bowl winners, has not necessarily proven to be the most important?
Yeah, no, I you know what? And it's funny you mention this because I've been last time I was here, seems so long ago. We were talking about contracts, and I've been doing a lot of research on contracts. Finding about guarantee, what is it all about, and it really all comes down to the business model and what type of cash flow a team has. Because the thing that was going on with Khalil Mack.
We'll get to Mack.
Okay, but just to instance, usually when we talk about guaranteed contracts, we're talking about signing bonus, really. How much you're going to get up front. And the thing about it is that money must be put in escrow. So in other words, that money literally at the beginning of the contract, that must be put away because that must be fully funded. So in other words, one of the things they kept talking about the Raiders is the Raiders, until in October, they're going to get like a $200 million check from the TV rights.
For
TV
moving
rights.
the team. Okay, for the TV rights.
The TV rights and all that stuff. And every team is going to get that. So it's like, can we afford to, and it's just like with any company, you have to look at what are your fixed costs. What are the things that you have to pay? When I was a coach, every year I had to look at, okay, what is my budget? I got to pay these people, I got to pay and then everything else I can look at that. So if you're looking at guaranteed contracts and you're saying, okay, I'm paying this here, that person, that person, that this is money that I must have in liquidity put away because of the collective bargaining agreement, then it makes it a little bit difficult to say, okay, how much I'm going to give a person in the signing bonus. Can I really do that? It's not that maybe I don't want to, but maybe my cash flow doesn't allow me to. So, and I'm just thinking, like, I think sometimes with fans, and I'm all for people getting their money too, but I also work in a union, and I know that sometimes there are restrictions there that have been put in place that will restrict you from getting the type of money that you feel you should get, but that's just the way it's set up, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's true.
I'm giving her the boo on that one.
But it's true though.
Here's why.
Okay.
I don't give a gosh God. I wouldn't give them a nickel to put cheese on a Whopper. I don't care about leagues or teams. Pay the players. Because let me tell you something. I understand what you're saying.
Right.
Cognitively.
Yeah, sure.
As a business person. But I ain't about the business. I'm on the side of the players. I want all players to get paid. How they get paid is up to the owners to figure that out. It's not for me to care about that. As a fan, I want my players happy.
I mean, I understand it, but I also think as a player, like I always talk about the being a teacher. Like they never teach about the business of being a teacher in terms of like money, benefits, and everything else you're going to get. And I just think that sometimes as fans, when we're probably not privy to it, there's the business of NFL. We always say this is a business. Well, there is a business model, and it's largely dictated by a collective bargaining agreement that dictates how money can be paid, when it can be paid, and where it can be paid, and all that sort of thing.
Hold it. Why should players care about that? Why should I care about that as a fan? Tell me why. Because let me tell you something. I don't care about owners. Owners don't get on the field and give me what I like as a fan. Owners don't do anything. I don't care about their risks. I'm not an owner. I don't care about you, Mr. 32 owners. They're all billionaires. You just told me they're going to get $200 million checks, and you want me to care about them? Hell no, I ain't caring. Tell me why I should care about, I don't care.
I mean, of course you don't care. But I just think that,
why should any fan care?
And they shouldn't care, but I just think that because we are educated people, that if you understand what goes on behind it, you can say, yeah, I don't care, but I do see what you're talking about.
Listen, you know what I see? Here's what I see, Ghost. I see owners making money. I don't see no owners selling their franchise. Why? Because they making money. If your business ain't making money, sell it.
But you know what?
Cap's a myth.
But when we talk,
here's my thing about the owners. You know what? Here's my sympathy for the owners. If you're not making money, then you should sell your franchise. That's about all the sympathy I have. Because as long as you're making $1 more than you spending, you're making money. I don't care. I want the players to get 85% and let the owners figure the rest out, because they're the guys doing all the heavy lifting. Now, we talked about Odell Beckham, who got $95 million guaranteed. $65 million guaranteed. 5 years, $95 million, but it's a 3-year, basically $65 million deal. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna talk about how this is calculated. We went from Aaron Rodgers being the highest paid to Aaron Donald being the highest paid, a defensive player.
Yes.
To Khalil Mack being the highest defensive player, and how quickly that changed from day to day. Oh, hold on. Knocker, what's up, brother?
What's up?
What's going on, Knocker?
You know who this is. This is our West Coast affiliate, the great Bud Knocker, calling in from sportscastlife.com, the new sports guru. Check them out. They come on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. West Coast time, 9 p.m. East Coast time. What's going on, my brother?
Dan, you pimp our show better than I do, man. You're hired.
Hey, you know I'm the promo king right there. You know how I sneak them in. No
shame at all. Got to get it out there.
That's right.
I'm doing good, Dan. I just got home from work. Got my I got my grape raspberry vodka drink in my right hand. I got my phone in my left hand, and I got your message, and let's talk some college football, man.
Hey, we're going to run right through this break. Let's do it real quick because I got you on the line. But first, let me say this. I think what you guys did with the draft was awesome, man. I loved it. I had it on the big screen. I was watching you guys doing the talk show. You, Cam, and Josh did a great job. So I just wanted to tell you that, man. I really enjoyed that draft. It was one of the most enjoyable fantasy drafts that I've had in a long time, man. So, you guys.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. I appreciate it. It was a good time, man. Always.
Let's talk some college football while we got you. All right? And we'll push the break back for about 5-10 minutes. First of all, the obvious starting point is the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, 1-0, undefeated. What can you say about that?
Nation rising, baby. What can you say?
Hey, listen, you got to take it when you have it, right? We're 1-0. It may not last into the second week, but we can enjoy the ride while it lasts.
Let's say it.
Absolutely, baby. My team gets in first place. I always take a picture because I know it ain't gonna last.
There you go. All right, let's double back to last night's game. You have Florida State coming out against Virginia Tech at home. Preseason ranked 19 against preseason ranked 20 at Va Tech. Talk to me about should Florida State fans be concerned, man? They got whooped in their own backyard against Virginia Tech.
And I think they should be very concerned. There are a couple of teams, Florida State and Miami, they both come out and they're worried more about pregame showmanship and this and that, and the pregame brawl in Miami and Florida State running around and doing the dancing and the new uniforms and stuff, and they forgot football. They just play totally undisciplined. It's very frustrating to watch, but they're in trouble.
DeAndre Francois with 3 interceptions. He was a savior a couple years ago, and he looks bad in his first game. 22 for 35, but did have the 3 turnovers. What did they have, 5 turnovers overall?
At least. You count the block punt. You count the fumble on the second or third possession, the 3 interception. There's 5 right there.
And what about Willie Taggart? What does that say for him in his home coaching debut? Smashed by 3 touchdowns, man.
He looks lost. He looked lost on the sidelines, and I just, the moment was bigger than him and his team. And to his credit, though, he's picking up a team that was in pretty much total disarray last year when Francois broke his leg in the first game. And then, anytime they struggled, they just had a bad year, and it seemed like they were ripped apart. So he's trying to put together, some cohesiveness and this and that. But, dude, your play calling absolutely, completely sucks, bro. I don't know what you're thinking about. You must be a disciple or something. Because you get down in that red zone and you just don't know what to do with your star players.
Yeah, it was not a good showing for him. I feel bad for Florida State fans. When your new coach and your home debut goes like that, but I guess the upside is it can only get better.
It ain't gonna get no better,
right?
It can't get much worse,
Hopefully
right?
you only look that bad once.
It ain't gonna get no better. And I'm not even worried about Francois' 3 interceptions because the offensive line don't block. He's gonna throw more interceptions. So I don't
worried
care
about the defense. Virginia Tech just ran right through the defensive lines like they weren't even there.
The offensive line didn't block for anything, so they couldn't set nothing up. You can't call plays if your quarterback got 2 seconds, at less than 2 seconds to do anything.
Agreed.
They can't run the ball because every time they hand the ball off, the defensive line was in the backfield. That offensive line just got dominated, and they just unless that offensive line blocks better, then there's no way in the world they'll ever win a game.
All right, now let's talk about.
I understand, but you need to know that. So why, when you get down in that red zone, running plays? I mean, sprint your quarterback out. You know, do a fly sweep or something.
Yeah.
You know, I know they had trouble getting to the outside.
They had trouble getting anywhere.
You know, you're trying to run the ball up the middle, and then the penalties. Oh my God! 1st and goal on the 1, you take a penalty. Every time they made a big play, there's a penalty. Totally undisciplined.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let's talk a little bit about the former USC head coach or interim head coach, Coach Ed Orgeron, baby, goes down to LSU, and now I like Orgeron. I liked him when he was at USC. He had those guys playing for him, and I think he gets a bad rap because he doesn't look as polished as the Nick Saban. He doesn't look as buttoned up as the Urban Meyer. But this guy has Miami come in. Miami's preseason ranked number 8, LSU's preseason number 25. And Ed Orgeron's squad goes out there and puts a whooping on those boys in LSU. Talk to us about the LSU Tigers.
They looked fantastic. Again, you had one team playing with discipline and controlled emotion, and the other team playing out of control. And this and that. They're buying into their own hype and this and that. They forgot to play a doggone football game. I didn't like Rozier last year. I was hoping he was going to be better this year, but as the game got longer and longer, he got worse and worse. It was just bad. Now, I was praying that they would hire Ed Orgeron. He got shafted by USC.
Yeah, he did. We talked about that when he was at USC. We talked about that because I thought he should have got that USC job too. I thought he got shafted on that. And he goes down to Baton Rouge. And, people make fun of, his gruff voice and all of that. But he gets kids to play for him.
I like his voice.
And that's your job. Yeah, thank you, Coach V. I like him. When he's down here, he understood the tradition. He was USC, born and bred, bled cardinal and gold. He understood it. And you just said you hit the nail on the head. Whatever he's outside appearances, he gets kids excited. He gets kids to play for him, and he gets kids to listen. And to do that is just puts you, just right there.
And see,
LSU didn't make mistakes.
And the thing I thought about that USC job is, like I said, I think they were looking for somebody. He's not Lane Kiffin. He's not the pretty boy with the blonde hair. He's a gruff offensive line looking type of dude with a gruff voice. But like you said, Knocker, he understood the tradition, and he got players to play for him, and the kids seem to love playing for him. It's like college football. The kids look like they will run through a brick wall for this guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now let's move on to another
I
team.
love the guy. I really do. He's a great recruiter. He recruited fantastic for USC back in the Carroll days and back, when he was involved with the recruiting in session. They just missed the boat when they did not hire that guy.
I agree on that. Let's move to preseason rank number 23, Texas. Go ahead, Ghost.
Did y'all really think Miami was going to win?
Why not?
I thought they would.
I don't, because
I did.
I don't think Miami faces defenses like SEC defenses.
Oh, well,
LSU always have tough defense. I didn't think Miami had a chance anywhere.
Well,
there it is.
If it was at Baton Rouge, no way. I would have definitely picked LSU. A night game at LSU, you got to be really good to win.
Yeah,
but I
ACC
figured coming on
terrible.
this Mike Wick's second year, they looked good at the end of last year. I thought they had a chance to beat them, and boy, was I wrong.
All right, let's go to Texas and Maryland, man. Now, this is a tough game. One of the good things about that, I saw a tweet online. The Maryland comes out, they take a delay a game not having enough men on the field for the young man that passed away over the summer. What's that young man's name, Ghost? I can't think of his name.
I'll give it to you. I
feel real bad that I can't think of his name
right
now.
For Maryland.
Jordan
Maryland,
Knight.
yeah.
What is it? Jordan? Jordan Smith. Ghost will get the name for us. But they took they sent 10 men on the field. They called the flag, and Texas denied the penalty, obviously. I thought that was a nice gesture by Maryland and a nice gesture by Texas to not accept the penalty to show love for their fallen teammate. But back to the game. The Texas goes down to Maryland. Talk to me a little bit about Texas. Is Tom Herman in trouble?
Jordan McNair.
Jordan McNair.
Is he in trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he gets yes, it is. If he gets smoked by Oklahoma, yeah. If he doesn't finish, I'm saying if he doesn't finish with less than 2 losses, he's definitely in trouble. But Maryland just seems to have their number. I mean, there's always matchups that for some reason teams just have your number, and that's just it. We're going to find out in 2 weeks when SC travels to Austin. We're going to find out a lot about both of those teams. But yes, there's a lot of hype. And yeah, I mean, 2 years into this, I do think he's in the hot seat.
Yeah, I agree with you because he came in there highly recruited out of, where did he come out of? Houston, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And everybody thought he was the savior of the Texas program, replacing Charlie Strong. They ran Charlie Strong out of there.
Houston.
And it just shows that, listen, just because you have that Texas name.
Go pick a Hawaii coach then. Tell me when them coaches ever
Tom
won.
Herman was supposed to be the savior of the Texas football program.
It's like the players that come out of those schools. They are good system players. They don't succeed anywhere else because that don't work everywhere.
Now there are a few.
I agree with you. I think Alabama is the same thing, man. You got a lot of people in Alabama that wash out. They're great at college. They're fantastic college players, and they wash out. And I think you're right about Texas. I think it's the same darn thing.
Alabama got a lot of players though that succeeded.
True that. They do have a lot of players that succeed, and they send a lot of players to the pros. Not quarterbacks,
but defensive players, yes.
But isn't everybody a system player? I mean, no. Well, they're not. Okay, when we say system, it's like you can say, like for you have a certain skill set.
Sure.
That may make you successful in one system over another system. Yeah. So, in other words, everybody is a system player
to some degree. I understand what you're saying. To some degree.
That's why some of that system don't translate. That's why Houston quarterbacks never translate the good in the pros. Why Hawaii quarterbacks never translate. They put up tons of yards and tons of numbers in college, but when they go to the next level, it don't work.
All right, let's talk, Knocker, about your beloved Trojans. They get a nice victory, 43-21 over UNLV. I'm going to give you a minute. Go ahead. Talk about your Trojans, man.
I think they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. They got an 18-year-old quarterback who should be a senior in high school starting. He only got to practice for 3 or 4 weeks. He graduated early, blah, blah, blah. They've got brand new linebackers. Justin Porter's hurt again. They've got one guy, Cameron Smith, right there, but the other linebackers are new. Defensive line is decent. They've got good corners, always suspect safety play, which is just a travesty from the school that gave you Dennis Smith and Ronnie Lott. New running back, Stephen Carr, played last year, was hurt. Cedric Ware also got hurt in the Notre Dame game. They're going to be just fine. They've got a decent line. They've got good receivers. The dude from Mater Dei, Ron Smith or whatever his name is, I don't know what his name is, but JT Daniels went to him exclusively in the first half. I think he threw 8 passes to him. Once things got a little shaky, he just went to what he remembered and the guy that he knew. They're going to be just fine. But again, USC in the red zone with this spread offense. The spread offense does not work in the red zone. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. You need to line up like Stanford. You need to line up like Alabama. And you need to be able to pound the damn ball in from the 5-yard line on 3 rushing plays. And if you can't do that, you're never going to win a national championship. That's SC's problem. They can score some points. They're great between the 20s, but you get them in that red zone, and they're real iffy, and it still scares me.
All right, so what are your thoughts on next week's Stanford game, 8:30 on Fox?
I'm down. I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be in Palm Springs. I'm going to be watching that game, and I think for both teams, it's going to be an awakening. Stanford's got a new quarterback. They've got some young players. They do have Bryce Love in the backfield, Heisman Trophy candidate. Great running back but they didn't look all that great against the mediocre San Diego State team also. So I think both teams are trying to find their way. We're going to find out a lot about each other. But I do think USC is going to go up there, and I think they're going to sneak a win by 3 points, maybe 5 points. But I think it's going to be a really good game.
I hope so.
All right, now let's talk. Since we're talking about USC quarterbacks, you talk about JT Daniels, 18 years old, not much older, 21 years old and 397 days or whatever, however they have it, 297 days. You have Sam Darnold being thrown to the Wolves Monday night, 7 p.m. in his first NFL start for the New Jersey Football Jets. What are your thoughts? How do you think he's going to do? A USC guy, talk to me.
I was very surprised.
Still there, Knocker?
I thought he should have stayed in school. I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you lose me?
We lost you for
okay.
your opening comment. What did you say?
I'm a little surprised. I'm sitting on my front curb, but I should have better reception than I normally have. I'm a little surprised at how well he's done, how well he's handled this. He's come in very prepared, and everything I've heard has been a positive. But it's still preseason and what have you. I still think he should have stayed one more year. I'm very intrigued to see what happens because he gets a nice matchup with Detroit. Decent team, not a great team, never a great defensive team. I think he's got a shot to pull this off, but I think the Jets, if you're going to draft him and you're going to make him your future, then start him.
All right, let's go. Let's stay in the Pac-12. Washington goes into Alabama, and they lose to Auburn. People have high expectations of Washington. Talk to me about Washington. You get to see more of that Pac-12 team, those Pac-12 teams.
I think you got exactly what you thought you were going to get. Their quarterback is a little overhyped. I mean, yeah, he's been there 4 years, but he's a little overhyped. Washington is always going to have a very strong defense. They played very strong defensively. They just couldn't get some things going. They lost some guys to graduation on offense, and it's going to be a struggle. I think clearly right now they are the class of the Pac-12, but the problem is if they are the class of the Pac-12, then the Pac-12 is in serious trouble as far as national aspirations and getting into the bowl championship. I don't think, Washington, they lost, but one more loss in conference play, and, they're done. They're out. I think the Pac-12 is not going to make the Final Four again.
All right, I got to give you two more games. Let's start with Michigan, Notre Dame, Shea Patterson, and Jim Harbaugh. Is Harbaugh in trouble? Is he following Tom Herman out the door? What's going on in Michigan?
Hell yeah, he's in trouble. Are you kidding? To come out in that game and not be prepared for the onslaught that Notre Dame was going to give you at home, they were not ready. Their quarterback was not ready. I cannot believe that this guy in 5 years has not been able to find a quarterback. His offense is stale. There's no imagination to it. Now, they lost their best defensive player in the backfield for a targeting call, which to the letter of the law, the letter of the rule, yes, it was a targeting, but I thought it was a clean play. Not to send the receiver over, but what are you going to do? The guy's in the air. So, where the guy gets the ball and come down, and then you just tag him down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Michigan is the same. Their defense played well after the initial onslaught, but his team should have been much better prepared after 5 years. These are all his guys. 4 years. I'm very disappointed in the showing.
It's almost like certain programs, they say he can't. It's been years. He can't find a good quarterback in Michigan.
But he is
last year.
Yeah.
And
did they bring Shea Patterson in? Isn't this his guy that he brought in?
Yeah, but a lot of coaches can't pick good quarterbacks. Like Nick Saban in Alabama, he lucked in. What's the guy's name who should be starting? Who's starting now? The young kid.
Tua Vailoa.
But before that, the quarterback was never the strong suit. Even before it hurts, and then you had McCarron, who was okay. I mean, he wasn't great. They weren't gangbusters, but certain coaches just seem to have a hard time recruiting top-notch quarterbacks. So I think they put more of the focus on other things.
And in the Big
Ten, if you think about it, he had Andrew Luck at Stanford for his first 2 years, but then after that, I mean, really, not a whole lot there.
No,
you had Colin worked great for him, and then that whole thing fell apart. And I just cannot believe that this guy cannot get a quarterback to run his offense. It's just pathetic.
Because I think a lot of the times it's coach's ego. And they figure, like, you know what, we can get any quarterback back. Like, I can see Nick Saban saying, you know what, we could put any quarterback back there. Just don't make mistakes.
Right.
My defense is going to win the game for you. Don't worry about it. I'll put my focus on my defensive line, my D-backs. And I think some coaches, a lot of coaches are like that. So, you know what, it don't matter. We could put anybody there. We'll just focus on other positions and just have a quarterback who's going to manage the game and not make mistakes.
All right, and finally we got App State.
I think you're right.
App State going into Penn State, giving Penn State all they can handle.
Oh man, I would have been so happy.
I was so excited for Appalachian State. You remember a few years ago when they took down Michigan?
Yeah.
Appalachian State comes out early, and they love to slap these big schools around. Talk to me about App State and their almost victory. And should Penn State fans be worried with the Penn State Nittany Lions?
From Boone, North Carolina.
You want me to talk first?
Yeah, you go, Knocker. That's on you.
I'll go after you.
Okay. Yeah, I was truly surprised. That was one of the most disappointing games that I watched all weekend. I thought Penn State really should have just rocked them. But then again, you know, no disrespect to Appalachian State, they are a championship program. They have won their, you know, they won national championships on that Division II level or whatever level that they play on. They did go into Ann Arbor, so the program's used to doing things like this. But Penn State should have handled their business. That game should not have been that close. They played sloppy. Do I think they're in trouble? No. I think it's first game jitters. You know, give them a couple of weeks, get them into conference, and let's see what happens. But, you know, I think they played a good opponent. I think it was good for them to play that opponent. The fact that they did come back after giving up a late touchdown to go down, 38-31 with like a minute 47 left, to come back and nut up and score that touchdown and win in overtime says a lot about Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, and I like Penn State. Penn State was one of my favorite schools, and plus, like I said, I went to college with the coach, so I want to see them do well. But man, I wanted Appalachian State to win that game.
Man, I wanted Appalachian State.
right?
Because that's just like I'm rooting for the under. I rooted for them because they just come out there. They're not scared to play big name schools the first game of the season, and they always put on a good showing, no matter what. So I was really rooting for them to do well. And let me ask you this question, Naka. You think Rutgers would have beat Appalachian State?
No.
No.
You got jokes, right?
Get over it, dog. Get over it, bro.
Yeah, right.
Listen, even I said that. Come back to reality real soon.
I said no before you, so. No, we would have got worked.
Appalachian State got some speed on that team, boy.
Yeah, they. You know what it is about a school like that.
They're not afraid, man. I love it. They're not afraid. They just come up and they face you up, and we're not afraid.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is about schools like that? You got a bunch of guys that didn't make big-time D1 schools, and they want to go out and show out.
Yeah.
They're not, like you said, they're not afraid. They feel like they can compete, and they should have got better deals, and they're all playing together. Right. They got nothing to lose, and they're going to ball out.
And then it's also on the other side, we're playing Appalachian State.
Yeah.
Oh, we're playing Akron. Playing school. These guys ain't 5-star recruits.
Right.
But we're going to go out there. We're just going to run over them.
You get enough 3-stars, play together well.
But you got to get up early on teams like that because then you might take a little away. You let them hang around, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, this team is a little faster than I thought. And now they're only down 7.
But I think Appalachian State, I mean, obviously they've done this sort of thing before where they actually won. But I've always been intrigued with that school. You gotta love a place. You gotta love a school that's from Boone, North Carolina. But then it's just like Boone. But the whole thing about being from that whole area and like being from the Appalachian Mountains, and it's that hard, gritty. I mean, what was that movie? Deliverance.
Something like that.
Whoa, girl.
If you coming from, and I'm talking about back in the boonies of like, I mean, when we
the boonies of Boone.
The boonies of Boone. I mean, we talk about ain't nothing back there, and you had to grow up hard. I mean, they kind of symbolize that spirit that's down there, and I've always liked them.
That's a fair point. That's a great point. Now, Knocker,
you know what's cool is if you go to that school, like you said, if you go to that school, they do have enough of a pedigree where, you know, you have that chip on your shoulder, like you guys said, but your dream is still there. If you can go there and play well and compete and just do your job, the scouts are still sniffing around down there. You're still going to get a look.
Scouts going to find
you know, it's incumbent upon you to just say, okay, well, I'm here. Well, let's make this the best that we can do. We are a championship program. Okay, it's Division II. But if we do our job and do what we're supposed to do, we will get a sniff. We will get looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Knocker, I would be remiss for the sake of Josh. Josh is the co-host of of sports.
Screw him. He's my son, but screw him.
I got to ask you this, just for Josh's sake. How do you feel about Nike announcing its 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign, making Colin Kaepernick the face of it 2 days before the season starts, or 3 days before the season starts, knowing they provide all the uniforms for the NFL? Give me your thoughts on that before we let you go.
Oh, wow. I think it's just a big fong you to the commissioner, to the owners, to all that is what it is. Just, you guys can do and you can do, and we're just going to stand by our guy. We feel he's doing nothing wrong, and we may take it in the shorts, but you know what? It may be a great thing for us, but we're willing to take that risk, and we're willing to stand by the guy. And it's I don't know, dude. I mean, there's pros and cons, and you can debate it all day long, but it sure as hell is a gutsy move.
I love it.
But you know what it did? It forced the NFL to come out with a saying that the issues that he brought up need to be addressed, and they need to do more for it.
And see, that's what I mean.
But you know, and this is the thing. If you would have came out and said that 2 years ago when he started, we wouldn't have been in this situation now. But you let him hang out to dry.
Yeah.
You let every player who took a stand, knelt, hang out to dry. And then now you're forced into a position
Here's
where
my
you're
issue
saying,
with this, though. Where is Paul Allen in all of this? Why isn't he spending money and organizing protests at police stations that have incurred these injustices on the public?
Yeah, you mean Phil Knight, the head of Nike you're talking about.
Financed by Nike in order to satisfy the problem and correct the injustice that's happening. Okay, they got him up there to cause controversy and sell shoes, but where's the grassroots here? Why isn't Paul Allen standing on, a Chicago PD front step and saying, I want this officer, and I'm going to use my influence to make sure this son of a bitch gets put in jail for killing somebody he didn't need to kill.
You're talking about Phil Knight, right? You mean Phil Knight, the head of Nike? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, Phil Knight. Yes.
Okay. No, yes. I understand what you're saying. But they did make a sizable donation to Colin Kaepernick's campaign. They're giving money to him to support him in his efforts.
Money.
Okay.
I want action. I don't want money. You got tons of money.
Hey, Knocker.
I'm fired up now. There we go. Who's the...
That's my Knocker clip right there.
I'm fired up now. There we go. Who's the...
Hey, I love it, man. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, but you're right. And some people have said the flip side of them making Colin Kaepernick the face of this campaign is, are they using it as a publicity stunt to sell shoes?
That's going to sell more shoes.
Do you think it's going to sell more shoes, Knocker?
I think it's going to polarize. People are going to burn them, and people are going to buy them. But is it going to solve the problem?
Nike's going to be
racial injustice? No.
Nike's going to sell shoes whether they use them or not.
True. Are they going to sell more because of them?
I don't think that. I don't think the publicity matters. I think if they put support behind them, it gives him more credence.
I have heard that a research company or an advertising company said Nike received. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. About $43 million in or looks or additional, publicity from this, and over, I think they said somewhere in the neighborhood of over 50% was either positive or neutral. I don't know what the exact numbers are. I just heard it in passing. So they're getting, at least according to this report, a better than 50% positive or neutral, meaning people didn't have any reaction to it. So I don't know if it's going to help them sell more shoes.
People that have a hard reaction to it are the people who have a problem with somebody bringing attention to racial inequality in the country.
I agree.
That's people who have a problem with it. That's people who are upset. If you're upset with somebody who wants to bring attention to inequality in this country, then you need to look at yourself and figure out why.
There you go.
And I don't need to say why, but we all know the reason why. But
all right, Knocker.
But your hood is showing.
Knocker. Knocker, give your show. Yeah, he goes in hard. As Knocker likes to say.
Damn, that was deep and that hurt. That hurt pulling out, bro.
I'm fired up now.
There you go. All right, Knocker, give the show a shout out before you go, man.
All right, man. Our show is called Sportscast. We're on every Wednesday, 6 to 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're Sportscast Live on the that's our website. we do it like you guys do it, man. I just, I wish we could get together and I just love talking to you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been
Always
more
a pleasure,
involved,
Knocker.
but life gets in the way sometimes of things that you want to do. But I love y'all, and this is going to be a fun football season. And I hope you guys check us out. On Wednesday nights.
I'm definitely
And,
going to
listen,
check it
don't
out.
call in. He calls in, man. He calls in. He supports our show, so I hope y'all too.
One day when I don't have a Cypher show, the hip hop show on Wednesday, I'm gonna call in.
Yeah, you should call in next
Yeah.
week if you're gonna be off.
I'm
Give
see
him
if
a
I'm
call.
I got to talk to the boss about that.
Oh yeah, you gotta talk to the boss. All right, listen, Knocker. We appreciate
know
you.
whether I'm gonna be off or not,
and we love you. Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Whether or not you're gonna be off. Give Wendy our love. Give Josh our love. Tell everybody we love the great Dan Burlington. I heard him in the background on Sunday's
he was
show.
there.
I know he's great. We love him. Trisha absolutely loves Dan Burlington, man. She says he's one of the funniest cats she's ever hung out with. So
awesome.
So we appreciate you, man.
See y'all. We'll catch you later.
All right, man.
Later.
Have a great night.
Bye bye. You got it. Bye bye.
All right, that's the great Bud Knocker calling in. You know how it is. You know how we do. Check their show out Wednesday night, 6 p.m. to 9 to 11 East Coast time, 6 to 8 West Coast time. We're going to take a quick break. Might be a little bit longer than usual. Hold on. Let me get the music up because I got to catch my – man, it's been an hour. I've been hold on. I've been talking straight for an hour, and I think I just got a popcorn kernel caught in my throat. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sitting here trying to struggle through this damn popcorn kernel.
Popcorn, man.
I know this is live radio.
It's an art form to this.
Listen, I just left the hospital, so I just one of my athletes went down. But listen, we don't need no more.
No, we're not going down, but we just gonna have to take a quick break. Hold on, let me get this music set up. Any last words on the Colin Kaepernick thing, Coach V, before we come back and talk NFL football?
No, I mean, hey, I'm not surprised Nike did it, and I like it.
If you don't want sports to bring awareness to nothing, then we're gonna stop doing with the pink shoes and pink stuff on October.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's not bring awareness to anything.
Yeah,
I agree.
And if you
you
really want to talk about respecting the flag, then they shouldn't pull flags out and hold them on all ends across the field because a flag should fly freely. Mm-hmm. And if it rains or inclement weather, the flag should not be up. And if it's up at nighttime, it needs a light on it.
Is that the way it works?
Yes. And it shouldn't be. Thing should not be in the design of an American flag because that's disrespectful to the flag.
Well, I guess I better throw my swim trunks out there.
And then when you see, yes, you should. If you're about respecting the flag, don't wear any articles of clothing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When did those rules? Who made these rules?
It's been in there.
Oh, you know what?
So you mean all those headbands that people wear? With the
Yep.
You know what? When I was coming back from
and all your Budweiser beer cans that you're sitting out there in your little rallies.
Yeah. Well, when I was coming back from Cancun, we stopped at had a layover at Houston International. Well, just George W. Bush International, whatever. And they have a USO in there, and the USO, they support the troops and everything.
Right.
And not every airport has one, but some of them do. And it's a really awesome place. It's like how most airports have like the lounges
right
in front of it. Well, this is a place where service people plus whomever they're with can come in from after layover, eat, charge up your phone, sit down. They got chairs. I mean, they're all set up differently, but it's really a cool place. And I got a chance to speak to some of the veterans there, and it was just cool. It was just cool. It was just nice to sit there and talk to them and say where they were coming from, what they were doing, and ask about the USO. And they say, yeah, we get very busy around as staffed by volunteers. We get very busy during the holidays and stuff. And it was just cool.
Do they give you these flag rules when you get into the military?
Well, you have your regs where you have to read, and they give you. I don't really remember if they talked about that. Well, yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Let's take a quick break. We come back, talk some NFL contracts, see who got paid over the break.
There's gonna be a whole lot of happy baby mamas. It's true.
Welcome back. Tuesday night, 10 o'clock. You are still in
the game.
To my right, she is
Coach V.
To my is
short fuse.
I am your host, O-Dog, the Stat Tech. All right, we talked about a little bit of contracts. We talked about Odell Beckham Jr. Okay, Ghost, you didn't feel like they got overpaid, that he got overpaid. Now, I'm a big believer in you get what you negotiate. If the Giants felt like that's what he's worth, then that's what he's worth. Now, I was talking to my cousin, and he was saying,
what was it worked out to be, like $18 million a year?
I think it was like something like that.
Yeah, because he's high. He's paid more than Antonio Brown. So whatever Antonio Brown is, he gets more than that. And
I was talking to my cousin, and I wanted him to call in because, he's on some BS, man. Next week, I'm gonna text him right now because I told him Ghost was gonna eat him up if he called into this show, and I'm putting it out there, Justin. Yeah, you scared? You don't want to talk to my co-host? You want to come selling that wolf tickets, that nonsense? He talking about, because Odell Beckham matured, Ghost. What do you think about that? He said Beckham matured. He did what he was supposed to do, and that's why he got paid.
Mm-hmm.
Matured isn't. What has he done that showed he's matured?
He kept his mouth shut. He showed up for practices. He's mature now, Ghost.
That's what you're supposed to
do.
Yeah,
I mean, what was he going to do? like he was going to get his money regardless because you have no other option. You know why he's going to get his money? Look at the offense last year without him.
Bingo.
That was his leverage. He got the numbers to back it up. He put up numbers, the better numbers I think than almost any receiver in history in his 3 years so far. And then when he went out, look what the team did with him out. And that's his negotiating right there.
His position was, as you can see, we take care of our star players, meaning the Giants organization. I said,
what?
I root for
They wouldn't argue with him for 2 years about contract negotiation if they took care of their star players.
Hello?
And what other star players they take care of?
Thank you. Anyway, he says,
hold on. What other stars do you have?
I'm recording this just for you, Justin.
Like, he took care of star players.
Listen, that's what he said. I said,
no, what stars that you develop? Give me a star player besides Odell that the Giants developed. And Eli ain't paid. He's a borderline star.
Right.
We're gonna leave him out of the conversation. But you don't develop star players in the Giants.
You know what I said to him, Ghost? Much in line with what you said. I said, with that, the Giants still suck as an organization. They should have done it sooner without hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
If you take care of your star players, why you make them wait 2 years? And he said, Beckham was always going to get his money. He just needed to show he had matured, and he did.
Yeah, that's it.
I said, he needed to show. The guy's a premier talent in the league. He's one of the top receivers. He showed what he needed to show.
If you wouldn't have gave it to him, somebody would give it to him.
Hello? See? At least be in sync.
Somebody would have gave it.
I said they did not do anything special. He earned every cent of that money, and they ain't doing him any favors.
Because if he was that immature, they would have been booted him somewhere.
Boot.
You accept things from people who are extremely talented. That's how it works in this world.
And you know what I told him? Exactly what you said. I said, if the Giants didn't pay him, there are 31 other teams that would have paid him.
You would have had to franchise him twice, and you'd have been paying him over $20 million anyway.
Bingo.
So you might as well give him the money.
Bingo.
That he earned.
And
First of all, they didn't give them. None of these athletes don't get given anything.
Thank you.
They get what they earn.
They earn it.
Yes, they earn it.
Thank you.
They're not just handing out that size of contract.
You better be lucky you ain't calling tonight.
They earn that money.
Call in next week.
Odell earned that money with all them touchdowns and all them yards he put up in his 3 years.
We'll revisit it next week for you, Justin. You can call in anytime you want, brother. Anyway, enough about that.
I'm not even
nonsense.
a Giant fan, and I'm happy he got it.
So am I. And I told him, I said, if you know anything about me, you know I want all players to get the most. And Coach V, I've been consistent with that, haven't I?
And always.
I'm always about players getting the money.
Always.
Because this is a players' league. It's a players' game. I don't know how they let play.
And you can't tell me that this is a $14 billion a year company. NFL makes billions.
And you know what I heard?
And you're going to tell me we can't guarantee the players' contract.
I heard last year they said even with the 10% drop in viewership that
don't matter.
They
because
still
they got
made
the TV
$8 billion.
contract.
Right. They still got it. They don't care. Those contracts are paid. One
Yes.
paid was signed. They're getting their money.
Regardless
of who watches.
Yes.
If nobody watched, they still get paid.
Like I said, October, $200 million coming to every team.
Gotta love naive fans,
Well, we
Ghost. You
can't
know.
guarantee money to the players.
We
can guarantee it to the coaches.
Speaking of guaranteed money, let's talk a little bit about Aaron
The
Rodgers.
Raiders guaranteed $100 million to Gruden.
Sure did.
They guaranteed that, didn't they? But since you talked about Raiders and Aaron and
John
Gruden, let's talk about Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack and the Raider organization were in a standoff.
I was kind of shocked.
An impasse, as John Gruden
I was
said.
shocked. Impasse, if you will.
That's what he said.
A fork in the road.
I was really shocked that they traded him.
A Mexican standoff.
A Mexican standoff. Go ahead.
Because it's like, I'm just shocked they didn't wait for him to cave. Because either you're going to sit out or you're going to cave.
Because you know what? Let me ask you this. Let's talk about it realistically.
Yes.
Did they make the Herschel Walker deal for them? Like, did they get that? Are they going to be set up for the future? Like, when the Cowboys traded Herschel Walker to Minnesota, they got all these picks. They didn't get enough? They got what? What did they get? Two number ones, 2 first rounds.
And like a third round or
and
something.
And a 6th and a 5th, I think. So they got 5 picks. They didn't get Herschel Walker type because what the Cowboys get 11.
They gave Mack and then they gave a 13-player trade. It was Herschel Walker and somebody else, and they got like I think 11.
11 picks back. Yeah, I knew it was something ridiculous.
So yeah, no, it's not like that. And then they also gave the Bears a 2nd rounder. So you give a Mack and a 2nd rounder.
I thought he got him a 3rd rounder.
No, 2nd.
Okay.
So no, it's not a Herschel Walker trade. And then you got to really prove that you did something with it. Like somebody made a point. Like, oh, would you give up 2 first rounders for Khalil Mack? And then they said, well, it depends on who it is. So they went through I think they showed some teams picks, and they said, whoa, your first round picks were this person and that person. Then, yeah. But then what if your first round pick was Travis Frederick and Zach Martin?
Right.
So then you got 2 all pros, and you get so it all depends. It could turn around that organization quick because then they can strike gold with these picks, and then okay, yeah, you done boosted up 1 or 2 other positions,
right,
for it. I mean, I think it was. We can't really tell until down the road after all the picks are said and done.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously but now that's another question goes. Do you give up a known quantity for an unknown quantity?
I'm not giving up Khalil Mack. I would have found a way to get him a contract.
He wanted some ridiculous amount of money. $141 million.
I just gave $100 million to a coach who ain't coached in 10 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Who wins games from you on the field?
Wait. Hold on.
First of all, John Gruden, he won in Tampa with Dungy's team, right?
Yes, sir.
What he did since then?
He got a quarterback school, and this is be on ESPN. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Monday
and
Night
he had that
Football.
cool Corona commercial, like 1-800-Corona, which Tony Romo has conveniently taken up. Shout out to Romo for getting him checked.
I mean, no, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would have gave up Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack got $90 million guaranteed and goes.
That's an escrow.
No. Hold on. He got $60 million at the signing. Give me my check.
Yeah, that's the one.
No, that's nothing. Aaron Rodgers got 80 by March.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to get to Aaron Rodgers, but hold on.
I love it.
Hold on. Let me slide into that. I was going there, but I'm trying to build up the suspense. He got $60 million at the signing with $90 million guaranteed, and it's a 6-year deal.
Nice.
Eclipsing Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Donald, the first Ron, who got a 4-year, $134 million extension. No, I'm sorry. That's I'm looking at the wrong Ron. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers. I need to be looking at Aaron Donald. What's Aaron Donald's specs? Hold on. Let me get Aaron Donald's specs.
I think Aaron Donald averaged 10 sacks, 10.5 sacks per season his time there.
All defensive player. Defensive player of the year.
This thing, 10 from the tackle position. We're not talking from the edge.
So he coming straight up the middle with 2 guys on him.
Yes.
Wait, let me get his contract.
So to me, that's more dominant.
Oh, yeah.
To me, to average that many sacks from an interior position, I think is more dominant than being an edge rusher.
He got Aaron Donald. People are asking, will they be the first 20? Why does the NFL try to play these games, or is it the media that plays games with the numbers?
What do you mean?
In terms of the money that they talk about is not really the money that they're going to see.
Nope, it's not.
And educated fans know that.
And don't get cut.
Wait a minute. I'm getting a report that we're not on Facebook. Hold on. Make sure we on. No, we on. We're on Facebook.
We're on your page. We're not. It wouldn't let us go from there.
Yeah. No, we on my page. My page. Hold on. Check us out. Shout out. I see you, Johnny Mac, Gerard Hector. Shout out, Raquel, Timbo, my cousin, Iman. What's up, people? Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. I appreciate your support. Love what you're doing. I love the support, man. I appreciate it very much. Keep it locked here. We're gonna talk about these contracts. Let me see. All right, let me get Drunk Falcon up in there because he's over there. You know, he probably has some Crown and Coke, so he's a little lost.
Wait, started already.
Yeah,
man. Get your first game until Thursday. Don't
yeah,
start.
right.
Guess you feeling the loss coming already, huh?
Yeah, thanks for the support, people. I appreciate it.
Atlanta better not lose on Thursday night, man. Because I already picked y'all to win.
So did I.
At least cover the spreads if y'all do lose.
Nick Foles looking horrible. All right, give me Aaron Donald's contract numbers. What do we got on him? Because I got Aaron Rodgers, and I must have messed up. I put the wrong Aaron in there. Hold on.
I'll tell you 1 second. It's opening up.
All right.
I'm just saying they getting all this money, and like I said, we all want them to get their money, but y'all better produce.
Wait a minute, Coach V.
You get
paid for what you've done.
These players get paid for what they have produced already.
Right. Of course, but then we as the fans, that's what we keep talking about. We're like, no, we done paid you how much money?
Fans are stupid.
Agreed.
We done paid you how much
He
money?
got a 6-year, $135 million.
How much guarantee? 87.
Let's see, didn't get to that part yet.
Yeah, give me that guaranteed money because we know how it is.
I gotta look at another one. Keep talking.
No, I'm thinking about Khalil Mack got what, 90 million guaranteed? I think I said. I love it. I love players getting paid. I'm all for players getting their money. So that's what I'm about. Now, Aaron Rodgers signed a $134 million contract, and Ghost, you made mention of it earlier. Aaron Rodgers going to get $80 million by March.
Oh, wait a minute. He said 6 years, $135 million.
Right.
$40 million signing bonus. 86.8 guaranteed.
Yeah.
An average salary of $22.5 million.
Yeah, get that money, player. Get that money. Making him the highest defensive player of all time, correct?
For one day.
All right, that's right.
Because then Max signed his the next day. It changes, man.
And Max said, wait. Max said, hold on. Don't announce.
Hold my beer.
Let him hold my beer. Let him live for a minute.
And then once because the floor was set, now you got the bar set. So the Mac goes in and says, look, here's his numbers, here's my numbers.
Did the Bears overreach though? Did they overpay?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think so, Ghost?
Nope.
One player?
No.
Is that really a lot? I'm just asking the question.
You know why? Because you take advantage of the time where they have a rookie under his rookie contract. They have a young running back who's still under his rookie contract.
True.
They have some good young defensive players at every level. You got your linebacking core with Raquan Smith. You got out of Georgia, who's doing pretty good. You got the Georgia defensive end on the other side. I forget his name, Lloyd. I think his name is Lloyd. So now's the time when you have the money to go in.
It's like that old Seattle kind of model where they had the Legion of Boom, but they were underpaying Russell Wilson by like
underpaying. He's on his rookie contract. They don't have to give him nothing new until it comes up.
What was he getting? He was making $400,000 when he won that Super Bowl.
Got drafted higher.
Yeah.
I mean, you take advantage of the time you have.
He was making Russell Wilson was making $400,000. Come on.
You take advantage of the time you have when it happens.
I mean, listen. As a team,
really,
yes, you do.
Who'd you fear? Russell Wilson, or you feared that defense?
You feared the defense, obviously.
So when they beat Denver, the defense destroyed Denver early on, and the game was over because the confidence was shot.
Yes.
So but you take advantage when you got your star players under rookie deals.
All right, now listen. I'll ask you first.
Khalil
Coach.
Mack was 6 years, $141 million.
Yeah.
$34 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
660 guaranteed at signing.
Yeah.
Total guarantee is $90 million.
Yeah. I love
23.5 average salary.
I love it.
So then you had people talking. They think, you get the Cowboys. DeMarcus Lawrence is coming up. You think he knew these numbers? No, first of all, DeMarcus is not getting nowhere near that.
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence? No.
Yes.
No,
I mean, if he puts up another 14.5 sacks again, but these guys have done it for like 3-4 years in a row.
Right.
They haven't had any drug suspensions. They don't have the bad back. So you have certain things. Like I want DeMarcus. Don't get me wrong. I want him to get as much money as possible. But will he reach in that? Will he top max numbers?
No. He's not the player Mac is.
No.
Nor should he. You don't.
And then he has injury history. Like right now, if J.J. Watt was healthy, he should top them numbers.
If he was healthy.
with the bad back, do you put the money? All these things come into play when they start talking about these guaranteed money over the time frame.
Yeah.
But hey, I want players to get everything you can because these owners are walking away with hundreds.
They're walking away with tons of money.
Now you know who else gonna start looking? Gonna start getting people to start giving their owner the side eye, even though they did something with his contract. Julio Jones.
Did they extend his contract?
They did something. They worked it out to get him into camp, so he was satisfied with that. But I can guarantee you, because the way everybody always looking at everybody else's pockets, even if they say I don't never count another man's money. Yes, you are. You looking at that contract.
Well, if you have a Julio Jones status and you're Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, can we agree that they're probably the top 2 receivers in the league?
Who, Julio and Antonio Brown?
Yeah. Okay. Who else is in that class? Anybody?
Beckham
In that class? Really?
Yeah,
Are we putting him in that class?
If you look at his numbers, yeah, when he's healthy, yes.
But I'm just saying that I get, and even though like Antonio, the Steelers they don't negotiate with you when you have certain amount of years on your contract. Like they have a certain way of doing things. Antonio Brown gonna start looking at he got how much?
Please let Antonio Brown walk.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach V. Are they looking at other people? Are they looking in another man's pockets? Or are they just looking at the market and say, hey, player, this is what the market bears?
This is what I deserve.
This is a free market economy, and this is what the market has told you I'm worth.
Because you know what?
But they're also,
if I was underperforming, you'd cut me
in a second.
No,
so
but
I'm overperforming. Pay me.
They're also looking at. They're also looking at this is what the market bears, and if I underperform, you cut me. But there's some big Antonio Brown. There's some big egos. Now Julio Jones maybe not so much, but he's like he got what? Oh, okay, and I'm balling out like this. So no, y'all gonna have to pay me next time.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's what when the market speaks, and you keep up with the market, and you say, "Hey, listen, this guy's playing well, but I'm playing better, and I'm being paid less. Then I need to be paid more."
Yep.
Because again, like Go said, they will cut you in a second if you don't perform.
Well, and I mean, any job will get rid of you if you don't perform.
Okay, so why should not be? Not like football. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
You're right. Not like football, but I'm just saying the basic concept. Like, if you don't do your job, there's like, I guess to me, when I hear somebody say, like, well, they'll cut you if you don't do it. Well, yeah, anybody would.
That's fair.
It's not doing their job.
But it's not like
it's
NFL.
Like their numbers just drop a little bit.
Right, exactly. The NFL is
they're cutthroat.
You're a 28-year-old running back. Sorry, you got to go.
Right. But let's look at it. Most NFL teams, we talk about team does it this way, this team does it. If you are really going to be successful and you want to win, basically you got to get your team as young. You got to get a young team for
young and cheap.
For young and cheap.
Young and cheap.
That's basically what it because it's a hard salary cap. When you start having to pay people,
salary cap's a myth.
What do you mean? Talk to me about that. What do you mean?
They can fit people in a salary cap if they want to.
That's true.
You can fit anybody in there.
That's true.
That's what they tell people so they can get rid of people.
The capologist,
but they can,
if you will.
They can work their way around it and move money around, do whatever they want to do to get it done.
Extend this deal, move that money, play it up.
But we talk about extending deals and stuff like that. You got to get somebody who's willing to do that. Because
they're not losing the money.
If you're saying, hold on, but again, you got to think about the person and what they're thinking. They thinking long term, short term. And now I want my money. I'm not gonna give it. I'm not gonna defer, or I'm not gonna bypass this so you can get that in because I want mine now because I do know what the NFL is like.
All I'm doing is extending it. I'm just being able to push that number over those numbers of years.
Right, you're just kicking the can down the road. Right, we're not losing any money.
They're still getting their money at the same amount of time. They're just being able to spread it over those years.
Yeah, but some people may not be willing to do that.
But they're not losing their money.
Right,
but they're still getting that money. It's just a books thing. So the NFL can say, the team can say, I'm spreading it out over this number of years, but they still got their money.
Now, to your point, shout out Derek in the Facebook chat, Facebook Live. Aaron Rodgers wanted his money up front. He wanted to give me my $80 million by March.
But he's going to get it regardless.
But it's like
he would have got the guaranteed money at the signing.
I understand,
but it's just the books, so the team can spread it out.
But I understand that. But he don't want to wait. To Coach V's point, he don't want to wait over time to take that money.
He didn't have to wait for that money. Is what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, if he has to wait till March, right?
Yeah, he was going to get the guaranteed signing money at that bonus.
I understand.
It's just the numbers thing, so the team can push it. It's not. He's not waiting for the money.
But he's not getting it till March, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying to you, as Coach V is saying, he has to be willing to say, well, I'll wait till March to get that check, as opposed to saying, no, give me my money now because I want to invest it and make money off of it instead of you investing and making money.
All the money.
I understand what you're saying.
It's not waiting over the years.
No, I understand what you're saying. But to her point, to Coach V's point, he does have to be willing to say whether it's, I'm not saying he's waiting over years, but he has to wait until March. And if you're talking about $80 million, I mean, I don't know what the interest is on $80 million.
But if I sign a contract that says I'm getting it in March, I'm getting that money regardless.
But even if I get my money in March, like you say, okay, that's like, I mean, I guess it's a little bit. If my mom say, okay, Veronica, you're gonna get you're getting your allowance, but I need to give it to you 2 weeks later. As I'm like, nah, just pay it. I want my money right now. Where's my money? And
we signing the deal today.
If you ain't signing a contract, that don't work. If I sign a contract, say I'm getting $80 million on this date, then okay, I'll wait 3 months.
But
I'm not doing no verbal handshake. Okay, I'll give it to you in March. No,
obviously.
If I got it in paper, you give it to me.
Has to be willing to sit down and say I'm going to do that, and not everybody is willing to do that because not everybody thinks like you says, okay, yeah, I'm getting it, but I'm getting it later. Now, no later. Now.
No, I hear you, Coach V. I understand what you're saying, but I also understand what Ghost is saying. You're going to get it eventually. You're saying I want my money now.
Yeah.
You're going to get it, but I want it now. We're just having a debate about timing. It's just about timing.
He's like, yeah, Veronica, I'm going to get your money, but I need to pay over money first. So can you wait?
Yeah, right.
Like, don't owe me nothing. I don't owe nothing.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and play a game that I heard, and I want to go through the conferences. It's gonna be called "More Likely to Finish First or Worse." We'll be back after the break. Keep it locked. WBKS1.com in the game Tuesday night talking sports with you.
Day, that's you and me. All day, that's us, boo. Came through with that new thing. See, I don't know why I trust you. Crazy now, I'm just too on. Maybe now I'm just too gone. Maybe now I'm just looking for that same vibe that you on. Cause I'm out here with my boys, going crazy in this bitch. Overseas, getting Benz, no Mercedes in this bitch. We made the album 9 months. Had a baby in this bitch. I'm with your babe on the run, like I'm Jay-Z in this bitch. I don't smoke a lot, but I get green. But ball out, no SBs. I caught you out, you got serving that beat stop, no step team. I came through and that's real shit. No Novocaine, but I feel this. Feeling kid when I feel banks. I still be spitting that Will Smith. I shut it down, we do that. Hell yeah, we knew that. That girl gave me them crazy eyes. Orange is that new black. That cold out, so I think about it. Trust me out, so I drink about it. They talk a lot, but it's all good, so it's too real. Don't think about it.
She take me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face. She can see through my soul. I said, don't think about it. I said, don't think about it. She took me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face. She can see through my soul. I said, don't think about it. I said, don't think about it.
Came up as a church boy with my dukes on weekends. Waking up at like 6, man, you don't get paid if you sleepin'. Man, you don't know where I come from. You don't know what I've been through. Realize I don't say shit about all the bread that I sent you. You getting mad, I'm sitting back, I'm fucked up, I'm getting trash. Gotta go watch 2 gold chains and I go real like Trinidad. Trick, I'm the man. Act like you know me. Popping off like a semi. Man, I rap like it's loaded. I mean my crew hot, your crew not. We too sick, no flu shot. On this side, it's all big, man. I ain't dissing on Tupac, just East Coast, all East Coast. These young bloods don't know better. Most of y'all got no chill. They'll get it poppin' in snow weather. Some kids just need love. They'll put in work for like no cheddar. Looking up to them dope boys. They got bands like Coachella. Yeah. Just remember, I might have your girl for dinner. I'm the man year round, January to December.
She take me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face. She can see through my soul. I said, don't think about it. I said, don't think about it. She took me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face. She can see through my soul. I said, don't think about it. I said, don't think about it. She take me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face. She can see through my soul. I said, don't think about it. I said, don't think about it. She take me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face, she can see through my soul. I said don't think about it. I said don't think about it.
Wait, no, nothing.
WBKS1. We are back in the game. To my right, she is
Coach V.
To my left, he is
Short fuse. That kid goes.
the great debater in the building. I am O-Dog, the Stat Tech, talking sports with you. All right, let's just get into it. Let's go into divisions. Most likely to finish first or worst. I like the way it sounds, so that's why we're going to play this game.
Okay.
Let's go to the divisions. Hold on, let me pull this up. And let me see. Let's go. NFL season starts Thursday with the Falcons against the I can't say it.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Against
I'll
the
say it for you.
Philadelphia Eagles.
I'll say it for you.
I'm not going to say where they stand. The defending
Super Bowl champions.
Why you have to say that? That doesn't even
Because,
sound right.
you know.
It doesn't sound right. It just doesn't sound right.
I'm trying to help you out.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, but it still sounds awkward. I am a Cowboys fan, as you can tell. How about those Cowboys? I got the hat. I got it all here locked up. I got the helmet, which you can't see, but I'm going to put, hold on, let me hold that up for you. How about them Cowboys? I know my man Mac is a Giant fan. He's usually smarter than most things on that. So I love Mac, man. Johnny Mac, shout out to Mac. All right, let's go to the AFC East.
Patriots.
Hold on. Can we go through this?
Patriots.
Ghost, who's most likely to finish first and who's most likely to finish worst in the AFC East?
First?
Yes.
Patriots, worst, Buffalo.
Coach V, first and worst.
First, Patriots. Worst. Who else is in that division?
Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets.
I'm conflicted between Miami and Buffalo. I'll just go Buffalo because it's cold up there.
Okay. I'm going to go obviously I'm going to go to Patriots first. I'm going to go Buffalo last, well, just like Ghost. How do you think the Jets are going to do this year overall, Ghost?
I can see them going 8-8, 500, 7-9.
That's good for them.
That would be a huge improvement for them.
What did they do last year?
I think they were 4, but they have 4 wins because they had the 3rd pick. So
Did they have 4 wins last year?
They had 4 wins, right? Didn't they?
Good googly google.
Did they have 4 wins?
They had
Because
5 wins.
they had
5 wins.
The Giants had 3, so they must have had more than the Giants. Let me see. Hold on. 2017. Let me look at that. Jets had 5 wins.
That's E5 here.
So wait a minute. The Jets and the Giants combined had 8 wins. That is embarrassing.
So I can see them doing 7-9.
7-9. All right. Now in the AFC North, you got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and Browns. Who you got first and who you got worst, Coach V? I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens first.
Okay.
All right, because they seem to be picking things up. You know, things seem to be percolating.
Keep in
down
mind
there.
the Steelers are in that division.
Shoot, forgot about that.
Steelers were 13-3 last year. Ravens were 9-7.
Yeah, you know what? I have to change it. I'm gonna have to go with the Steelers. Because,
And who's worst?
who else in again?
Bengals, Browns, and Ravens.
Oh, I guess I hated the poor little Browns. I'm about to go with the Browns.
All right, I'm gonna go Steelers first, Browns worst. Ghost, who you got?
Steelers first.
I was all hyped for the Ravens.
Wow, I think it's gonna be interesting. But I'll say Cleveland worst, but they're gonna be competitive.
You think so? How many wins does Cleveland get this year, if any? I mean, they got what, 1 win over the last 2 years?
Yeah, they got a better team this year.
It can't be worse than that.
I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them about 5.
5 wins.
Got no place to go.
5
but
or
up.
6.
5 or 6? Hold on. Before we jump across that, I don't want to go to another division until I look at the Cleveland Browns' schedule. Let's look at their schedule and see where they can eke out 5 wins.
Before we cross the Rubicon.
What does that mean?
You remember when Caesar crossed the Rubicon?
Is that a river?
Yeah, it's a river. So usually when you
Girl, she know what she talking about. You smarter than
the
me.
Rubicon, you know.
No idea.
When you cross the Rubicon, that means
the Rubicon.
Yes, when you cross the Rubicon, when Caesar crossed the Rubicon, that was like the big challenge. That thing, and then he went on to victory, crossing the Rubicon.
Okay. You smarter than me. You working on a PhD, right? Well, go ahead and cross that Rubicon. All right, hold on, Ghost. The Browns open up with the Steelers, then they have New Orleans, and they have the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see them getting a win in any of those three games? Let's do it in quarters. How about Oakland?
Beating the Jets in
How about
Oakland?
Oakland?
I can see them beating the Jets in Oakland.
Okay, so you could have them 2 wins right there. You got Baltimore, the Chargers, Tampa, and Pittsburgh again. So that do you see them getting a win in those 4 games?
I can see them beating Baltimore.
Okay, so that would be 3. Then you have Kansas City, the Falcons, Cincinnati, and Houston. Do you see them getting a win there?
Cincinnati.
Okay, so that'd be 5. And you have...
Out of the last ones, I could getting the Ravens or Bengals.
Okay, so you could...
And maybe the Broncos. Who the Broncos quarterback?
Nobody knows.
Ooh,
I don't know.
They got rid of Paxton Lynch.
Is that a big deal? I mean, Paxton Lynch...
it's not a big deal, but he was a high pick for them.
He was a high pick for them, but John Elway cut bait. He said, look, the guy can't play. Get him out of here.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do that.
Guy can't play. Move on. Let's stop wasting
I
time.
can see that happening.
All right, so you got 6 wins for them. All
Possibly. I said 5 or 6.
5 or 6. All right. Let's go to the AFC South. You have Jacksonville, who won the division last year, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Houston. Who do you have first? Who do you have worse? I'll start with you, Ghost.
Wow. Tennessee, I think maybe going to be the worst.
Tennessee is the worst.
And Houston in first.
Wow, even with Mariota? Well, okay.
Wow, that's a shocker. Coach V, who you got?
Who's in there again?
You've got to pay attention to this show.
I ain't paying attention, but I'm always rethinking my situation.
Hold on.
Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans.
Okay. Jaguars, even though I like their players. I like the name Calais Campbell. That just rolls off the tongue.
What is Calais Campbell?
It just rolls off the tongue.
Okay.
Calais Campbell and Jacksonville. And the worst, I mean, the Colts, they've been so bad, but I'm saying the Colts. I'm not ready to, so what? Andrew Luck is coming back. I'm not ready to give him,
All right. And Derek, if you're going to start a fantasy quarterback, I think you should start Prescott over Luck at least week 1. What do you think, Ghost?
Who's he playing against? If you ain't playing against me, then start Andrew Luck.
Well, he ain't in my league, so I don't care. You know you're wrong for that, Ghost.
I don't know, because I just think Andrew Luck's going to throw a little more. And then he got T.Y. Hilton. I don't know. That's not like, I don't think it's going to be that huge of a difference.
I don't think it's that huge of a difference either, but I think I would go with Prescott. And now,
Prescott, they're going to lean on Zeke more.
That's true. So, Ghost, who did you say? I'm sorry, for the AFC South? First and worst?
Texans and Titans.
Texans in first and Titans in worst. I'm going with the Jaguars in first, and I'm going with the Colts for the worst. Now, let's move to the AFC West. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. I'm going to start with you, Coach V. Who do you got first? Who do you have worst?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
In first?
Yes.
And who do you have worst?
I'm going with the Raiders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocker. Ghost, do you agree with that?
Chargers first for me. And Denver worst.
Wait. What did you just say? You said the Chargers?
Yeah. Chargers got good
first?
young defense. Yeah.
I'm going with... It's tough because there was only a 1-game difference between the Chargers and the Chiefs. I think Phil Rivers will do his usual Phil Rivers, throw late-game interceptions. It cost them a crucial game. So I have to go with the Chiefs as first, and I'll go with the Broncos in worst. Who do you have worst, Coach?
Broncos.
Okay, I agree with that. Let's go to the NFC. We're going to save the NFC East for last. Let's go to the NFC North. We have the Vikings, the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears. Coach V, who do you have first? Who do you have worst?
I'm going with the Vikings first. See, I'm paying attention.
Okay.
And I'm going with the Bears. I'm going with okay, I have to go with the Bears.
I agree with that. I'm going to go Vikings first. I'm going to go Bears worst. Ghost, who you got?
Yeah, same.
Same. Let's go to the South. This is the Drunk Falcon division. Let's call it the Drunk Falcon division. Drunk Falcon, I know you probably drink a lot of Crown and Coke, so you probably have the Falcons first and the Aints, as you like to call them, worst. I'm going to start off on this one. I'm going to take the Saints first, and I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Bucks worst because they were with the 4-game suspension of Jameis Winston.
It's only 2.
It's only 2?
It's
it's 3. I thought it was 3. I'm sorry. I'm thinking 4 because I'm thinking automatic 4. So I think that they're going to wind up worse. Ghost, who you got in the NFC South?
Saints and Bucks.
Saints and Bucks. Coach V, who you got?
I agree.
Saints and Bucks.
Yep.
So we all agree on that one. NFC West. We got the Rams, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Niners.
Wait. If the Bucks are bad this year and they finish, do you think they start looking at getting rid of Jameis?
If the Bucks are bad, yeah, because he's got a huge payout next year, and the NFL is about money. What did you say? Get him young, get him cheap. And if he hasn't panned out in 4 years, do you believe in Jameis Winston? Ghost, do you believe Jameis Winston can turn his career around?
I mean, what do you mean turn it around? Like he
hasn't been as successful as people thought.
Look at the players around him.
Mike Evans.
Yeah,
they got a new rookie running back, Peyton Barber.
Yeah. Gotta look at the players around him.
You think he's gonna turn around?
Put over there.
I just like messing with you. All right, who you got in the NFC West? Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, Niners. Coach V, I'll start with you.
Okay, so I got Rams first.
Okay.
And at the end, I am going to go with the Cardinals only because Patrick, for as good as he is, I think he is a little bit too.
He plays for the Chiefs.
I was going to say Mahomes is the Chiefs, right?
I'm sorry.
You think about Josh Rosen.
Okay, yeah.
Rosen's the rookie. Who's the starter out there?
Bradford.
Right.
Sam Bradford's the starter in Arizona? Boy, Sam Bradford gets around.
Brittle.
When he's healthy, he plays, man.
And he's only healthy for 2 weeks a year.
Yeah, but I say when he's healthy, he plays. Put the numbers.
I mean, that dude's legs are so brittle, like he got rickets. So
So you going with the Cardinals last?
Yeah.
All right, and Ghost, who you got? First and worst?
Rams and 49ers.
Wow. Wait a minute. Wait, hold the phone. You do realize Jimmy G has won his last 5 games.
Jimmy Jesus.
So? You asked me who will come in worse in that division. They're coming in worse.
You don't think that Jimmy G can keep this streak going?
No.
Jimmy Jesus can't do it? Oh, man.
Wow. I'm a little disappointed in you, Ghost.
Okay.
You're not on the Jimmy G bandwagon.
Nope.
I'm upset.
How
for
many
2
players
reasons.
lead the Patriots and really succeed for a long period of time?
Matt Castle.
Yeah. Especially quarterbacks. Come on, let's be real.
That's a great point. And I guess you should have told me that before I drafted Jimmy in leagues.
That doesn't mean nothing. He can put up numbers. Don't mean they're going to win. He might put up numbers because they down.
I got the Rams in first, and I got the Cardinals doing the worst in that division. And let's move on to the most important division in all of football, the NFC East. Coach V, I'll give you the honors of going first. Who do you have first, and who do you have worst?
Well, I'm going to have to, until they prove otherwise, I'm going to have to go with Philadelphia. And then worst, it is a toss-up for me between Giants. Giants.
And Ghost, who do you have?
Eagles and Redskins.
I'm going to go with, oh, that's tough, man. Under no circumstances am I going to pick the Eagles in first. So I'm going to take the homer pick of the week. I'm going to take the Cowboys in first, even though I know that's probably not true. So that's my fan speaking. As an analyst and a talk show host, I will say that the Eagles will win 10 games and be in first. I do believe that Washington will be the worst team in the division, probably with 6 wins, 6-10, maybe 7-9. I can't see them getting more than 7 wins. I think the Cowboys are going to come in somewhere around 9-7. If they get lucky, bounce here or there, maybe 10-6. Giants are going to be 8-8, I think. Maybe 9-7. I think it's going to be a tight year.
You don't think the Redskins going to be better? I mean, they got Alex Smith. He's not bad. He's pretty good.
Wait, say it again. The Washington?
Yeah, they got Alex Smith. I mean, I think as a quarterback, I think he's a good.
I don't think Jay Gruden is that good of a coach. I don't think he's going to manage it.
All right.
So, and Ghost, what do you think? How do you think the division's going to shake out overall? Outside of first and worst.
What do you mean?
Give me some records. What do you think? What do you think the records are?
Oh, I didn't look at the schedule. I don't.
How do you think the Cowboys do? You think they get 10 wins?
Yeah, I think they can. I don't know.
Well, I know
all depends. I don't know. I'm 10. Wouldn't shock me if they got 9. I'm not sure.
I can't see the Cowboys winning more than 10
shock me
games.
if they got 13. I don't know. All depends on how the breaks go. They got 13 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago. Everybody's 2 years older. How do you think Dak plays?
Everybody's 2 years older and they're still under 25. What are you talking about?
He's still 2 years older.
I want Dak to do well. Like, I really would like to see him
Now
do
tell me
well.
why. Do you have an affinity toward Dak? What's your thing with Dak?
You know, Okay, it's weird. I've always liked him since he was in college because that name Dak, and then I found out his name was Dakota. I like Dakota as a name. But then I was quite impressed about him when he took his stand about how he felt about the flag, and he said people wanted to call him a sellout. He was like, no, I'm not a sellout, but this is what I believe. This, that, and I just thought that was a very mature take for him. He didn't back down from what he said. He didn't try to soft shoe it or dance around it. I'm just impressed with his overall maturation.
Okay.
So I want to see him do well. I really do.
I want to see him do well simply because he plays for the Cowboys. I don't have any other love loss. He seems like a nice young man, but more importantly, he wears the right uniform, and I'm all about the uniform when it comes to football. I don't care what I guess I care on some level what your politics are, as long as you're not too crazy. But for the most part, I care about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it's tough. It's going to be a tough year. Ghost, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, when we talked about our fandom and where we stand on that. It's tough being a Cowboys fan these days. As a Cowboys fan, it's his toughest year. And it gets tougher the more Jerry Jones speaks.
Oh, God.
So hopefully he can keep his mouth shut and keep me as a fan.
You know that.
Now let's talk. What'd you say?
You know that's not happening. Just don't even go there.
I'm trying. Let's talk a little bit of tennis. You got the U.S. Open over here in Queens.
Yes, Serena won.
Now, more important, well, I won't say more importantly. Outside of Serena winning, Serena's doing her thing at 36, you said?
Yeah.
Was she 36?
Yeah.
Sloane Stephens went down to a number, I think she was 16. Sloane Stephens is the defending U.S. Open women's champion. And she went down and I watched some of this match today, and it was crazy because it was really about the heat.
Yeah.
She went down to Anastasia Sevastova.
From really about the heat.
There were two sides of the court. On one side was a sunny side. The other side was a shady side. There were 14 games won from the person that played in the shade, 3 games won from the person that played in the sun.
Didn't they both have to switch?
They did, but whoever was in the shade won more games. And I guess...
But don't they switch the same amount of times?
I don't know. No, not necessarily, because if you're winning games, I don't think you switch at certain points, right?
Right. Was at a certain point, but it's not like you switching all the time. No.
Right. So, I mean, but you change over at what point?
I don't know what the points were.
So one person don't play half the game, 3/4 of the game in the shade. The other person only plays a quarter in the shade.
I got to tell you, though, it was interesting because the minute that the woman that was leading Sevastova went into the sun, she started messing up. The minute she got back in the shade, she started winning points. And it was vice versa. When Sloane Stephens was in the sun, and you got to remember, today it was, oh, dear God.
Well, listen,
it was 95 degrees, real feel 103 with a 70%.
And it was 47% humidity.
Yeah, whatever.
It was like 70%.
Well, listen, like I said,
humidity don't change. It's just humidity whether you're in the shade or you're out in the shade. Play.
I mean,
Ghost, that's what I think about river.
I understand what you're saying. Like I said, I came to the hospital, and it was because one of our runners went down with heat stroke.
Right.
Today, so it was seriously hot. Today. That's why I say I came here straight from the hospital because he went down with a heat stroke, had a seizure. I mean, it was horrible.
Really?
Yes, it was horrible.
Now, what does that look like, heat stroke?
Obviously everybody is different, but for him, it was just he started seizing. I mean, it was just horrible. And then
your body temperature goes too high.
His body temperature got up to 107. When they tried to do the CAT scan, it was like they had the coaches, our head coach, who's a big dude, he's 6'1", 250, almost 300 pounds, had to hold him down. The athlete's father had to hold him down because he was just, when they said when you tried to touch him, he thought that you was trying to hurt him. He ripped out his IV. I mean, he was.
Is the young man okay?
No, yeah, he's fine now. He's in.
Now wait a minute. As an educator, we talked about this heat show with Jordan McNair. I mean. My first question is, should you even be practicing in 95-degree heat when it's 70% humidity and feeling like 105?
Here's the thing. We practice early in the morning. 7:30 in the morning we're practicing. So we're not practicing in the midday when it's usually the hottest.
Okay.
But again, he was dehydrated. And even though we as coaches, we give them information on hydration, heat stroke and stuff, and we tell them constantly, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, because dehydration is cumulative. And when I took the father back to the car, and we was like he was talking about his son and saying what he did. He was like, aha. He's like, this is probably the culprit here. He was like, see what he had for breakfast this morning? And I was like,
What did he have for breakfast?
He had some town, what do you call those? Town crackers, but they had the peanut bites in it. So, I mean, that's a salty food. It doesn't provide you with much nutrition or hydration anyway. And so, you know, that in comparison to whatever, you know, if you're not getting enough water, if you're not, you know, and again, it's not just water that day, it's cumulative what you've been drinking, you know,
Yes.
what you've been drinking, you know, over time. It was just a bad recipe.
Now, I got to tell you, as a distance runner, I just recently ran, maybe about a month ago, I ran a 7-mile run in Central Park, and it was.
It? Thought you gonna say I did a half marathon or something. Ooh.
7 miles in the heat, and I got to tell you, it was very, like, we started at 8, and I got through the first 4.5 miles without stopping. I was good. I felt good. Temperature was still about 80 degrees. It was humid, but I was like, all right, I'm chugging along. I'm not breaking any records. I'm not winning the damn thing, so I'm cool. Now, mile 4.5, started feeling it. Stopped for about 1/10 of a mile, drank some water, you know, got some, you know, felt a little better. Ran till about the 5.5 mark. Then it started to hit, the humidity started rising. And let me tell you something. By mile 6, I had to stop and use the restroom, and then it all fell apart.
Yeah.
Isn't it hard to get back going when you stop? Because your muscles is like...
It is, but it's even harder for me as an athlete in the heat and humidity. I mean, there was nothing I could do in that last mile. I've run hundreds of miles, literally. And this 1 mile crushed me. I could not get going. My body, I was just tightening up. And then I just said to myself, look, I'm not going to be out here dying of heat stroke.
You need me there for your motivator.
Huh?
You need me there to be the motivator.
How would you motivate
I don't know. I'd have came up with something.
But in answer to your question about switching sides,
I don't believe you. You need more people.
I'd have got you going.
But you're dead wrong. You're wrong.
I don't believe you.
in answer to your question about switching sides in a tennis
Yes.
match, it says players switch sides after every odd game. So after
every odd game.
Yeah, so after the third
So
game,
third,
and after the fifth
5,
game.
But that doesn't mean, okay, so if...
And then, hold on, after every third, okay, so players switch, as in the first, third, or fifth games and so on. Players also switch sides at the end of a set, obviously, if they're playing an odd number of games. If the total is even, the players switch sides after the first game of the subsequent set. So it's not, you know.
I did not know that. So that's why it was 12-3, because if you're switching after every odd game, if you're winning more games, I guess, let me think. It was 6-3, 6-2, I think it was.
6-3-6. So they would have switched after the first, the third, the fifth game.
Then after the set.
And then after, and then.
So you play 9 games. I mean, 1, 3, 5, 7.
If they play, yeah,
and then you switch after the set.
Yeah, they would have switched after the set because that would have been an odd number of games because a total of 9. So they would have switched after the set.
Okay. Now, we don't have time to sit here and figure out how many times that put one in the shade and one in the sun, but Sloane Stephens was done. You know, you can see it on her face when she was just like, and she even said in her comments after, she said her mind and her physical weren't just weren't connecting because of the heat. And you know what they say, fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Heat does too.
And the heat, wait, hold on, here it is. It says, mentally and physically, I just wasn't connected.
Separates champions from the people who don't win.
I agree with you, and that's what I said to I was watching
not
the match.
on her because she's been doing amazing.
Right, absolutely.
I'm just saying that certain players can
fight
still
through
do
that
connection,
absolutely,
no matter what.
Absolutely, I agree 100%, and that's what I thought about. I was like, look, this is what decides who's going to be a champion. You know, whether it's fatigue, whether it's heat, who can battle through, who can get their mental ready, who can come through and say, look, I'm going to fight. And this young lady, Anastasia, was able to fight through the heat.
She just happened to be on the shade side the time she won.
She happened to win enough games to get on that shady side. So shout out to her. Let's look at the bracket in the U.S. Open. You got
no top 10 players in the women's semis.
Now hold on. You got Rafael Nadal, who's in the quarterfinals right now. He is leading in the third set after a 6-0-6.
Do you really watch the men's play?
I do.
I don't watch. It's just this set's just too long.
Juan Del Potro, he won his match. He's in the semis.
He's back.
You got Chilik Nishikori at Oh, that's tomorrow at 2:00 and 5. Djokovic and Millman, who took out Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Roger Federer, who is the number 2 seed in this tournament, goes down to the number 55 ranked tennis player in the world. Millman is his lowest player to beat Roger Federer in a major. Federer, listen, bro. He's still out there. He's still doing his thing, so I can't say anything. Serena Williams, Anastasia Sevastova. In one quarterfinals, you have Suarez Navarro against Madison Keys. You have Osaka against Torreno.
Serena winning this.
I would like to see Serena win it and go on to cement her legacy as one of the greatest athletes of all time.
I mean, I think that's cemented already, but
that's why I said go on to cement, further cement. Can you further cement?
No, if it's cemented, it's cemented. It's like,
that's true.
Get the
You're
water.
right.
Let's get water wetter.
Yeah,
Like,
it can't get any more hard than that. It's done. It's set.
All right. Well, her legacy is set. Well, then let me rephrase.
Say further enhanced.
She can add to her legacy. Can you add to your legacy?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you can add to it, I guess.
All right. There we go. Finally, I got one right. All right.
It's just a shame that they through all the injuries and the illnesses that the Williams sisters really don't play doubles anymore.
Yeah,
that's rough.
That's rough.
That's rough, but what are you going to do? All right, Ghost, let's talk about real quick in the final minutes. We're going to talk about the opening of football season. How do you feel about the opening of the NFL football season?
I don't care one bit.
Really?
I don't. My enthusiasm for NFL ain't that great. I mean, all I worry about is my brackets and my fantasy teams. Because that's what's going to win me money.
You got the Falcons-Eagles opening up on Thursday at 8:20. Who you got in that game, Falcons or Eagles?
The spread isn't that big, so I think the spread was like 3.5, maybe 4.5. I took the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons against the Eagles.
That don't mean I think the Falcons going to win. I just think they cover the spread.
Oh, I think the Falcons are going to win outright. I think Nick Foles is going to struggle.
I hope.
Coach V?
Yeah, I'll go with the Falcons.
Cowboys at the Panthers. Coach, how do you feel about the Cowboys? You think the Cowboys can win that game on the road against
Cowboys
Cam
can win
Newton?
every game.
Okay.
So if every game you ask me about the Cowboys going to win, they're going to win. So, yes.
What's your most interesting game of the week, or the game you would find to be the most interesting if you looked at them? I like the Rams-Raiders game. I think that should be interesting.
Chiefs.
Will it really?
Chargers.
Chiefs-Chargers should be very interesting. I like that
Jacksonville,
game.
New York.
I like that Jacksonville-New York game. I like the
Houston, New England.
Yeah, especially
I like the Houston-New England game, too.
Especially since, what's the dude, the other corner?
Ramsey.
Yeah, he was.
Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah, he was talking about Eli. He's like, he ain't that good.
Now, do you think Eli would want to go out there and smoke up Jalen Ramsey, show himself up, put Odell Beckham on him, and say, look, beat my guy if you can?
No.
Or is it just going to be part of the game? He's going to do it anyway.
Of course he's going to throw us his way, but don't try him too often because Jalen been all the trash he talks for the past 2 years.
He backs it up.
He's been backing it up on the field, so.
To quote Sportscast.
But the other guy's good too, Bouye. The other cornerback is really good.
Yeah.
I think his percentages was actually better than Jalen's last year.
Sportscast, they have a blackout game in the week. That would be the Bengals and the Colts. That's kind of boring. Nobody wants to see them play.
Unless you got fantasy players.
Yeah, I guess, but you can watch that. Who else what's the least interesting game outside of would you call the Bengals and the Colts the least interesting game of the week?
Rams-Raiders.
Rams-Raiders? I want to see that.
It's going to be boring.
You think so? Why?
Raiders ain't going to be able to do anything.
But let's see. I want to see if the Rams are for real. I want to see if the Rams are going to really show up and show what they're made of. Are they a team? Was last year a fluke or was it serious? Sean McVay a real coach or just got lucky last year?
No, they're for real. And the defense got better. You picked up
Sue,
Talib, the cornerback.
Yeah, Akil Talib.
You picked up Jason Peters. You picked up Peters from KC, the cornerback, who are two of the better cornerbacks in the AFC.
Yeah.
You got Sue and Donald inside. I mean, yeah, that defense is going to be crazy. And for all he might not be the greatest head coach, but what's his name? Wade defensive
Oh,
coordinator.
Wade Phillips is an awesome defensive
So you
coordinator.
give him
I
all
forgot
that.
about that.
You give him all that talent on defense.
People speak very highly about Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips is a great defensive coordinator. All right, folks, we come to the end of the show. I want to thank you for your time. We appreciate your support. All the people on Facebook Live. Hold on, let me give you a shout. Johnny Mack, Gerard Hector, Heather, Iman, Raquel, Derek Skinner, my cousin Timbo. We got a Drunk Falcon out there. Shout out to Knocker. Check his show out tomorrow night from 9 to 11 if you're not watching live in the Cypher. If you need more sports, they're on sportscastlife.com. Their YouTube channel is Josh Pacheco, so check him out. And, keep it locked, man. Football season's here. It starts Thursday. We'll be back next Tuesday to talk more football and everything that's going on in the world of sports. And as we always say, you cannot play the game unless you are in the game. Good night, Coach.
Good night.
Live in the Cypher tomorrow. What you got?
I'm not sure. I think we might go over Eminem's Kamikaze album tomorrow.
He got a new album?
That.
Yeah, I heard it was
he dropped
good.
He dropped it last Thursday night, Friday
Really?
morning. Yeah.
What's the early reports on Eminem's latest album? Is it old?
You have to tune in and see.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you
All
go.
right.
Check out Live in the Cypher if you want to know what's up with Eminem. Good night.
Good night.